So, hello and welcome for a second time. We've hit record, we are up and running and ready to go. Now, let's dive in. Okay, so for those of you that I haven't met before, hello and a very, very warm welcome. My name is Nicola Comedy. I'm the director of NKC Equestrian Training. And NKC Equestrian Training, if you're not familiar with us, it's an education and coaching company. So we do training for equine practitioners, like our Healthy Horse Conference, like our continuing education and CPD training, like dissection. And then on the coaching side, we offer business and mindset coaching for equine and canine practitioners. We also work with a handful of vets across the world as well. So I am a business mentor, I'm an NLP coach practitioner, I'm a trained hypnotherapist, I have all these cool mindset tools, some of which we'll be utilizing today. I also have a sales background, big T fan. I walk my talk. I think that's really important to share with you at this point, that everything I'm suggesting, I didn't just, dream this up. Like it's all tried and tested. We have tried it first on my business, and then we have rolled. What I'm teaching today is taken from the Expert Academy, which is my core coaching program. We've had several hundred practitioners go through that program and get the benefits. So what we are sharing with you today really does work, because we're all about helping more people to help more animals. That's the whole reason I set up my coaching and training company 9 years ago, was because as a riding instructor, I felt really frustrated. I could only help one horse at a time. And I just knew I wanted to help many, 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 many horses. And that, fast forward, is where we are now. And it is amazing to help so many animal therapists. We've literally supported thousands of animal practitioners across the UK, across Europe, across North America, and a lovely handful in Australia and New Zealand. And it is such a pleasure to do so. So you're in safe hands. And thank you for everybody who's joined us live, who was able to introduce themselves, because it's always really great to know who is here. So something I love to say at the beginning of these talks is sometimes business feels like a bit of a struggle. And I think coming from the equestrian industry, across the whole animal health industry, but I think particularly ingrained in us equestrians is like you just got to sort of struggle. Like animal people are quite hardcore, particularly the horsey crew. And I think that idea of we've just got to struggle, we've just got to figure it out, is the way we're going to get business up and running or moving forward. It doesn't have to look like that. Like you can have help. Like I'm going to help you today and I can help you after today. But for anybody that feels like it's almost like cheating if they get any help, like you don't have to make your life hard. And frequently we do that with horses, but you don't have to make growing your business and having a big impact and positively helping more animals. You don't have to make that hard. I know at the beginning of my business journey, I felt like, I was like, oh my goodness, I've got like a marketing background. Like I'm intelligent. Surely I can just figure this out. And I look back now and think, gosh, I did make life harder than it needed to be. So if that's you, calling you out. So this masterclass is designed with a really, really simple intention. It's all about gaining your next 10 clients or welcoming your next 10 clients. So I really want you to think, what is it I want right now? Because for some of you, 10 clients is exactly what you'd like right now. For some of you, it might be 3 clients. For some of you, it might be 30 clients. For some of you, it might be a financial goal. You need to have a clear intention of what you are looking to do in the next 30 months. 30 days. 30 months is quite a long goal. 30 days. We've really set this up so that you would leave knowing what to do to get your next 10 clients. And I've divided it into 3 simple steps, okay? You need clarity, okay? You need to know who you want to work with. And I really want to talk to you about the power of a niche. Then we've got an action section, okay? So this is where you're going to create your own roadmap, your own plan for action taking, okay? And I'm going to share with you a client attraction formula that delivers again and again and again. And then embody as our final section, where we're looking at what needs to happen to you to be the person that can take the action, that can enjoy having 10 more clients, and can put all of this into place. Okay, so how does that sound? Give me, if you're joining us live, give me a 1 in the chat if you're like, yeah, right, I'm on it. This is what I need. I want 10 clients, or I want, whatever client number, and I'm ready to put these 3 steps into place, because I have tried to make this really straightforward for everybody. So I have got a favor to ask you. Just watching this is not going to be enough. I wish I could say it would be. Just watch this masterclass and then by osmosis, bing, it'll happen. No, you have to do something with the materials today. I'm going to give you lots of information. You're going to get breakthroughs. You're going to get aha moments. You're going to write lots of notes. You need to commit to doing something with this information, okay? 5 moves, build your 30-day plan. That's what I suggest you focus on. But I really, really want you to have some commitment that you're going to take action, because you can watch a ton of masterclasses, workshops, buy a little self-study course and never do any of it. And you can think you're working on your business, but actually it's putting the stuff into practice, which makes a difference. And I get it, you're busy. Yeah, all the people I work with are super busy, which is why it's really, I'm giving you very straightforward, fairly easy to action steps, okay? But I want you to leave with 5 things to do after today. Right, good. I hope we are committed to some action taking. Okie dokie. The success code. Now, having coached equine and canine practitioners exclusively for the last 6 or 7 years, I have whittled it down. What you need for success in the animal health industry is just these 3 things. Isn't that refreshing to know? I hope that really makes everyone just kind of go, oh gosh, that's all I need to focus on, 3 things. It does make life a bit easier. You need number 1 over here, knowledge and skills. So this is not what I help you with. This is your hands-on skills, your clinical work. You need to be good at the day job, okay? You need to be able to support the animals that you want to support. Okay, so that's number 1. I know you've got that. If you are still training, you're getting it, okay? Then you need to believe that you're an amazing practitioner. You need to feel it in your bones that you're enough, you're good enough, that all these knowledge and skills, they work, they deliver, you can do what you want to do. Mindset for success, okay? And then number 3, you need to tell the world how you can help them and their animal. Now, you've all got number 1. I'm going to say you're all doing a bit of number 3. Number 2 is the bridge, because when you feel rock solid, confident, good enough, when you truly believe, like in your cells, that you are an amazing practitioner, you can't help but do marketing. Marketing becomes a pleasure. You will want to shout from the rooftops about how you can help people. Now, what I see in practice is a lot of people putting a lot of focus on number 1. Now, of course, make your clinical skills better of 100%. And yes, there is also a legal obligation for a certain number of hours of training each year. Yeah, 100%. I don't dispute that. But more knowledge and skills does not automatically make you believe in yourself. More knowledge and skills does not automatically, bing, 20 clients find you. You need these 3 things. And this one is the bridge. And today we are covering 3 and 2. Okay, so we come to 2 at the end. But that's all you need to focus on. But you do need to have an equal split. So if you're putting all your time and energy into 1, and you're a little bit shaky on 2, and maybe 3 is a bit inconsistent, or you're just relying on like referrals and word of mouth, well, this is a wake-up call, okay? But you can fix it. You can change all this, which is the good news. Right. So where does everything I'm going to teach you today fit in? Well, this is the method that I teach inside my coaching program. We're not going to be looking at money and time today. I do love looking at money mindset and so forth. We're not into future proofing, but we are covering these first three pillars because you've got to believe in yourself. We're going to be looking at this in the embodiment section. You do need to have clarity over your offer, who you serve, why you want to work with them, what you offer, and how you position yourself. So we're touching, covering a bit of two, and then we're looking at client attraction, which is our third core pillar inside the program. So I wanted to just share this graphic with you because so often you go to a free masterclass and it is basically rubbish. They're just like, yeah, if you want to know that, you have to buy the program. And that's just not how I deliver content. Like, I want to give you information that is like really going to help you, that 10 minutes after this session ends, you can bing, 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 implement. Okay. I'm not holding anything back. Okay. I'm going to give you lots of practical information, but you can see where this fits in. It fits into our bigger system that we know works and works and works. And we have, delivered it to hundreds of practitioners and they've had incredible results. So just sharing for context what we're going to be covering and how it fits in. So let's get specific. You've come to a workshop which is called Your Next 10 Clients. Is that what you want? Is it clients? Is it just income? Is it more clients? Is it the same clients booking more frequently? Is it a new offer to current clients? What is it you want? And there's no right or wrong answer. It's not school, it's not a test. But quite often I speak to people and they're just like, I just need more clients. And I'm like, okay, cool. Do you need 10? Do you need 1? Do you need 100? Like, we have a lovely lady called Becky who took part in the Expert Academy a couple of years ago. And she was in such a state of lack. She said, I just need more. When we actually looked at what she really needed, she needed an additional 20 clients. That was it. That was the number that took her business from, sort of just scraping by to bing, thriving. So what is it you need? Now, if you're here live, share it in the chat. If you're not, write it down, send us a message and tell us the number on social media. But you need to know this number. Share it if you want, don't share it, doesn't matter, but you need to know what it is you're looking for, okay? Because if it's just more, you'll never feel like you've got there. If it's just more, you'll never be able to build a clear plan because you're kind of just chasing something you can't quite get your hold on. Make it tangible, make it real, make it happen. Now, this is a really interesting point, and it's really essential that I raise it at this moment. I have to read this slide twice sometimes, and you may need to hear it twice. Do you want what you say you want? Now, you might be thinking, Nicola, come on, of course I want what I say I want. I've just told you I want 10 more clients or 20 more clients or whatever. Because all the time, what I actually hear is, oh yeah, I really want 10 more clients. Yeah, I want more clients. But, oh gosh, I'm so tired. I'm really busy and rather overwhelmed at the moment. Now, I call this out for you because I want you to look out for cognitive dissonance. Your mind cannot hold opposing beliefs. So your mind just can't wrap its head around it, every pun intended, by you saying, I want this, but I feel this, and it's the opposite. And Katie, actually, she finished the Expert Academy in March. She's a great example of this. About partway through the program, she had this massive light bulb moment that she was treating herself like an apprentice. So she was like, yeah, I've got this goal. I want to launch this. She had really ambitious, but she also realized that she was paying herself like an apprentice, talking to herself like she was an apprentice, not a CEO. And of course, she had CEO, business leader type of goals, but she was also running with an identity of just like the office junior. So when she realized that and flipped that around, she hit her first 8K month literally 2 months later, 6 months ahead of when she thought she'd hit it, which was super cool. And that was a huge breakthrough. So that may well resonate with some of you. If you're running around saying you want more, I want more clients, I want more money, but that but will keep you stuck because your mind, it wants to keep you safe. So if you're telling yourself, I'm tired, I'm busy, I'm overwhelmed, gosh, I don't think I can manage more responsibility. Like this, it does. I can give you 100 marketing strategies. They will not deliver if you don't want them to. Does that make sense? And I appreciate that can sound really the opposite of common sense because you're just like, of course I want that to work. But on some level, there may be a part of you that doesn't because you're tired, you're busy, you're overwhelmed, etc. So watch out for that. It'll keep you stuck. Can you hold what you want? You know, I just tapped into some of those potential stories, limiting beliefs I hear every day from people. More clients, more responsibility, more money, more problems, more trouble, more tax, more this, more that. So you need to be really certain that actually you can manage what it is you're looking to do. And if you realize in listening to what I'm saying, going, oh, actually, yeah, do you know what? Actually, I think I'm a little bit worried about having more clients because it means Great, that's really helpful. We can do something with that information, but you need to know that first, okay? So I really want you to go and do. It may come to you right now while I'm speaking. You may have, boom, something pop into your head later, tomorrow, next week, but now you've heard me say this, a part of your brain will be fishing for the answer. So do watch out for it because something will come to you where you realize, oh, actually, yeah, do you know what? I think I do feel a little bit worried about, I don't know, not having enough time for my own animals or my friends or my family or whatever it is. So just look out for that because no strategy can outrun the power of your subconscious mind or mine. And that's why the brain training is so, so important. Right, clarity. Your ideal clients. Who are they? Now, it's really easy to think your ideal client is anybody with a horse and a credit card, a horse and a dog and a credit card, anybody that will pay me money. Now, the problem with that is you can't possibly market to everybody. You can't be trying to solve everybody's problems. And you do need to be speaking to a particular type of person using their language and solving a problem that they currently have, okay? And this is where, when I talk about the power of a niche, it's a really great way to get the positioning of you and your business clear and get it right, okay? Because you need to stand out. Like people tell me all the time, oh, it's such a busy marketplace. Oh, it's this, it's this. If you are simply marketing what you do based on modality only, it will feel like a busy marketplace because there are other people who have the same title, shall we call it, who utilize the same modality, who maybe have a similar qualification to you. That doesn't mean that what you do and what they do is actually the same because you have your unique way of working. You'll have a different protocol probably in place for how you talk and walk that client through from that first bit of contact into what they do afterwards, how effective you are at getting clients to do their homework, shall we call it. So you and somebody else who on paper may sound similar, in reality can be totally different. But if you don't kind of claim who you are and your expert status, it makes it really hard as a potential client to choose. And then you can just end up thinking, well, maybe that person's closer, or that's a nice picture of them, or that person's $5 cheaper, £3 cheaper, I'll go with them. That's not how you want people to be selecting you. You want people to find you. We'll talk about how that happens in a little bit. And for you to feel like the absolute obvious choice, because what they need and what you do, bing, it's the perfect match, okay? And this is where getting clarity on who you want to work with is so, so important, okay? You need to be remembered. You need to be able to position yourself as an expert. When I first started NKC Equestrian Training, we offered horse first aid courses. And that made it very easy to position ourselves. We were I think at the time, we were probably the only company that ran horse first aid courses all across the country. We ran them in Scotland, we ran them in Northern Ireland, we ran them in the Isle of Wight. Like, we didn't go any more further, more exciting places, but we covered a big chunk of the UK. And people remembered me and my company because all we spoke about was horse first aid. And it made it really, really easy. It made it easy to work with other brands. It made it easier to get like PR opportunities. It made it easy to get speaking because it was really obvious what we did and who we helped. Then, yeah, sure, loads more came later, but that foundation was something to build from. And a lot of people don't have that foundation in place. And that's where the business can just feel a little bit shaky, a little bit up and down, okay? When you are clear on your niche, your ideal clients, like your piece of the pie, so to speak, everything becomes so much easier. Client attraction, for example, when I break down the client attraction formula, when you know who you want to work with, you can use that so much more effectively. Your copy, like the words you say, your branding, the pictures you use, your where you market, how you market, everything is affected by who you want to serve. So if you don't have clarity on this, this is the time to start thinking about it, okay? Because you can't possibly really appeal to, I don't know, let's say a 5-star event rider and somebody like me who is a happy hacker. You really couldn't get the imagery, get the words right so that both of us were like, yeah, that's exactly what I need. That solves my exact problems. It would be hard. It would be really, really difficult because I might see that elite event horse and think, oh gosh, no, they won't want to work with me and my wobbly off the track racehorse. Similarly, if you had your typical happy hacking horse, that event rider might be like, nah, that's not for me. So you really, but behind the scenes, you may treat a whole variety of animals, but you need to target your messaging down to somebody. Yeah. So this clarity on your ideal client is so, so important. Now, for anybody thinking, oh yes, but how do I decide who I'm really for? One thing I always share is this little trio. Whatever your niche, your piece of the pie, your dream client, you need to love who these people are. Now, for some of you, it's really clear cut. I don't know, let's take agility dogs. I've got several clients that work within the agility field. You love agility, you've got knowledge of agility, there's plenty of agility dogs that need bodywork or physio treatments. Like, that's a really easy one. For other people, it's not as clear cut as like a discipline, and it may be more based on a particular type of owner or a particular type of horse or dog who, like, their backgrounds. Like, I have a lovely client at the moment who she really specializes in nervous dogs that just need more time. They need to get to know her. She's got a lot of passion for that because of the work that she's done with her own rescue dog. She's definitely got the skills, and there are plenty of dogs who've been rehomed who then find it really hard to accept and trust veterinary professionals. So when you can tick those 3 boxes, you are in that sweet spot. So, and it's no good if you just love it and you're good at it, but there's no demand for it. Similarly, you might have lots of, I don't know, show jumping. Maybe you're a show jump rider or a show jump groom in a past version of you, and you've got all this knowledge, and you know there's tons of show jumpers out there, but you've just fallen out of love with the sport, or I don't know, it just doesn't interest you anymore. That's not who you want to work with. You have to have that passion. Okay, so sometimes the obvious is brilliant, but sometimes you have to go beyond the obvious, because it may be that it's about your niche is really, it's a type of person. It's the person that wants to do more for that animal. It's the person who goes above and beyond. It's the person who does the work. It's the person who is like walking their horse over poles at 6:30 in the morning, in the dark, in the winter, in the rain, because they really do want to follow the program. They really do want to get the results. They really do want the best for that animal. So think, this, you may have this nailed, in which case, great, we'll move on to the next bit. You may be thinking, oh my gosh, this is this is something for me to think about. Again, these answers will come to you, but just be really open to just think like, what lights you up and where do you feel you can really support? Because I hear this all the time. All my clients are different. So people will say to me, but I treat like a Grand Prix horse, and then I treat a Shetland pony. I treat top level flyball dogs, and then I'm treating, I don't know, post-op stuff. It may well be that all your clients are totally different. However, when you really dig in, there will be some commonality that binds them all together, because why did they all come to you? So there'll be something about you that has basically been like a magnet pulling these people into you. It may be about the results that you can offer. It may be about the way you work. It may be about your energy, your personality. It may be that you've got past experience with these various different things, even if they're really different. And it may be that somebody has, jumped into your personal story, and that's what brought them to you. So dig into this, because you will find a real commonality between all of the people that you currently work with. And if you're brand new and you're just like, I haven't got any clients yet, think about the practical case studies that you have already completed. Who was it that you loved working with? Who got the best results? Who did you just think, oh my gosh, you would be a dream client, okay? Because they may be different on paper, but trust me, there is something that connects them together. There really, really is. Erin, who went through the Expert Academy over the winter, she did this really well, because she had like really different clients on paper. She's an equine sports massage therapist. And then she was also going through a real journey with her own horse who had kissing spines. And she managed to successfully rehab and all this great stuff. But what she brought out, partly through her own journey, and she shared this journey really beautifully, was that who she was for and who was for her is the people that would go that extra mile. The people that wanted a very, very personalized plan, the people that, whether that was for strength, whether that was prehab, whether that was rehab, it wasn't somebody that wanted like a kind of one and done, a one hit wonder. She realized that they may do different things with their horses, but actually they really did share a lot. They prepared to put the work in. They would take her suggestions on board. They wanted regular sessions, and they were really interested in learning more. So then it didn't really matter whether they were leaping fences the size of my head, and some of them were, or whether their horse, just barely left the field because it was retired. They had all those other things in common, and then she could speak to those people. So trust me, we've seen it all before. Whatever your client base looks like right now, there's something that binds them together, which you can then leverage for your marketing. Okay, hard business lesson coming up. Your ideal client just isn't anybody with a horse or a dog. I know I've already said this, but it's a hard one to take on board, that you're not for everybody. And that not everybody's going to want your services, and not everyone's going to need your services. And I can feel a little bit painful, can't it? But it's really, really important that you realize that you're not for everybody, and everybody is not for you. Not every single person that has a horse or has a dog, and that is an awful lot of people, they wouldn't all be your dream clients. Some of those people would be an absolute pain to work with. Some of them, they just wouldn't be the right fit for you, and that is okay. And the sooner you get okay with that, it frees you up. It takes out that fear. It takes away that like, oh, but what if people say no? They will say no. People will say no to you. When you wrap your head around that, it lets you free to go and find the right people who do want to work with you. So it's a harsh lesson, and I'd rather I lovingly shared that with you than you kind of have to come to that on your own realization. So we've talked about your ideal clients, we've talked about who they are. Now, I really want you to think, we've talked a little bit about your niche. I really want you to think, drill in a little bit more. Who are they? Who are the ones you'd really like to attract? Okay. What is it that makes them like a joy to work with? You know, so I've already shared lots of things that I'm sure you've been scribbling down, thinking, yeah, that's the kind of person I want to work with. And you may have some incredible clients at the moment. You just think, gosh, do you know what? If I could have 3 more Beckys or 3 Sues, I would be sorted. Like they're the best client ever, because you've all got clients who are just such a dream. They rebook, they pay on time, they don't cancel, they do the work, they want to learn more, etc., etc., etc. So when you can think of, and if you haven't got any clients at this exact second, don't worry, just create somebody in your head. You maybe think of a friend or somebody you know in the industry who you think would be a dream to work with, and start thinking like, what is it? What are the traits that make them such a joy to work with? What are the problems that they are facing right now? Start thinking, like, get into their head. Where are they online? What's like waking them up at 3 a.m.? What are they sitting there with a friend going, oh my gosh, if only this, or I'm so frustrated about this? What's the problem they need solving? What are their values? Like, what's important to them? You know, we've talked about, I mentioned my client, Erin, who she, as I think this will resonate with all of you, she wants people that want to work with her for the long haul. I think it'll be the same for all of you. So the type of horse owner or dog owner that is looking for quick fix, get a device and that will fix it, come and undo 5 years of a badly fitting saddle, or 5 years of my dog not being quite right, or whatever that looks like. That's not a dream client for many of you, because those kind of values are probably not going to align with your values. And if you ever, maybe this has happened to some of you, you have some red flags about a client, but you want to help the animal, you say yes, and it bites you on the bottom at some point. So I think it's really important to think about the match between your beliefs, your values, what you think is important, and theirs. It really does need to line up, okay? And then what are the results that you offer? And does that match what they need and what they want, okay? And when you start thinking like your ideal client, like your dream client, it becomes so much easier to think about the work that you do and go a little bit more detailed with it. So, for example, I was out this morning. Oh, it's lovely. And then it started raining, and then it seemed a bit less lovely. But I was out with Taz, he's a gorgeous little horse. Well, not actually little, he's grown and grown. He's probably nearly 17 pounds now. He's just so sweet. Who my friend bought last summer, and he's just turned 5. He started life trying to be a racehorse, didn't really get very far with that. He's done pretty much nothing. And my friends have very kindly said, please, come riding for us. So this has been a real journey for me and Taz and my lovely friends. And when I was out this morning, I was just thinking, and I was talking to my friend about, how I'd like the horse to be, and what we'd like him to do, and what he needs to get used to, and and when you're clear on what somebody needs solving, what they're concerned about, what they're worried about. So for me, as somebody that's ridden to a high standard in the past, but does no longer rides at that standard, the kind of things that concern me and have done for the last sort of 10 years since I to put the brakes on riding a little bit for me is, have I missed something? Am I causing a problem? Is my horse 110%? And if I saw marketing that kind of matched what I'm thinking with what somebody's offering me, you can see that that makes it a really easy choice for me. Whereas when it's just very vague, like go on someone's social or their website and it's just talking about, I don't know, the benefits of equine massage, why I want to use a veterinary physiotherapist. Yes, there's a place for that information, but not the top, not the first thing I see on social media, not the top of a website, because I want to know that you get me and that you can help me with what I'm concerned about. Okay. And there's some lots of examples. It could be something post surgery, rehab related. It could be, about improving performance. Like there's a ton of examples. So hopefully that really makes sense. But when you can, but as I said, get inside the head of your ideal client, your marketing becomes so much easier. Now, the other side of this, to give you clarity, I have already mentioned who wouldn't be fun to work with, but do give this a little bit of thought as well. When you get really clear on who you would really not like to work with, you then know who you want, because it's the flip side. So Kira, who did the program a couple of years ago, she just was really struggling with who she wants to work with. She's like, I just want to work with every horse possible. And then we drilled into who was her idea of a nightmare client, and she was very clear on that. Then she could see, oh, okay, yeah, boom, now I know who I want. And she filled up her schedule really quite quickly when she had that clarity, because she could then speak to those type of people, to their problems, to their concerns, and present her work as the obvious choice, as the solution. But if she hadn't taken the time to do that exercise, she would have just been doing what I call a very vanilla type of marketing, just bland, trying to appeal to everybody and not actually appealing to anybody. So I suggest you go a little bit further after this session. Look at your website, look at your socials. Are you actually speaking to your ideal client? Are you really calling them out? Is it clear? Do you talk about their problems? Do you talk about where they're stuck and how you can help them? I've just shared a little bit from the Expert Academy sales page, and I've just slightly reduced it down to get it to fit on this slide. But we're calling out who we work with. It's for equine or canine practitioners who want a fully booked client schedule, and they want a clear business blueprint. And then we talk about some of the concerns, like your income being all over the place, your business in your head. Sometimes you feel like a bit of a fraud, like you're just kind of winging it. You should be posting online, but you don't know what to say. Everything's just based on word of mouth. You're great with animals, but you don't quite get how to get clients consistently. Like, this is exactly what people tell me. So if you were to land on this page, you'd be like, oh yes, that is me. Because we know who we are talking to. So I shared that example so you can see how this sort of looks in real life, and how you can put in place the same things across your socials, across your website. So do the audit, see is it clear? Is it obvious who you help, or is it not? And remember, it's just information. There's not a right or a wrong. If it's not, okay, cool, just need to change it. If it is, amazing. Could you clarify even further? It wants to be screamingly obvious who you're for and who you're not for. Okay, so that was step one. Action. Right, hopefully everybody is still with me. That was step one, clarity. Now we're coming to step two, action. Right, let's dive into some action taking. Hopefully we've got clarity on who your ideal clients are. Now, where are they? I would like you to all list 3 places where your ideal clients are, and then how you can also be there. So this could be online, it could be offline, in real life, so to speak. It could be physical places. It could be other people that they are working with. But where are your ideal people? When you have got your 3, just put 3 in the chat if you're joining this live, and then I can see who is keeping up and creating their plan, their roadmap. If you need any help, chuck it in the chat. Put your questions in the chat and I can help you, okay? because this is all about taking aligned action, okay? So if your dream clients use a particular local dog walker, or there's a particular vet or a farrier, which there will be, you can start thinking, okay, well, how can I build a relationship here? You might think, well, actually, my ideal clients, they're part of this local Facebook group, or they're part of this particular organization, or they all go and buy their feed from this place. Great. You now have got some information that you can utilize. Maybe there's things you're doing right now that you can double down on. Have you ever thought about where do clients find you at the moment, and what can you do to improve that? So, as I said, if you're joining us live, stick a 3 in the chat. Yes, we've got some 3s. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Okie dokie. Right. Perfect. Okay, we've got some 3s. Awesome, awesome. Let's see if we've got some more 3s coming in. So we know that everybody has got some information jotted down as part of their plan. Okay, client attraction formula. So this is our system for attracting clients. And what we support our clients to do, so the Expert Academy, is use this system to create their own formula, because you will need to be doing all of these things to some extent, and everybody is different. All of your ideal clients are different, and how you build your exact formula is going to look a little bit different. So for some people, it might be that vet referrals, for example, are a really big source of new clients for you. So that's a big thing. But also, social media is something that is involved in this referral process. So vet says, you need Vicky. I'm like, okay, great. I've got Vicky's details, but I'm also probably going to have a snoop on Vicky's socials and see what she's up to. So this may be the main channel, but social media may be also involved. And it may well be that strategic partnerships, so perhaps my vet says you need Vicky, and then maybe I'm just chatting to the farrier, and my farrier has also heard of you or knows of you, or maybe even also recommends you. Brilliant. And then perhaps I also see you, I don't know, in a local magazine, or I see you pop up somewhere else. I mean, that would be a super strong client attraction formula in place. But it's not about doing all of these things to 110%. It's about testing and tweaking what works for you. Because for other people, vet referrals may not be a big part. It may be that vets just kind of have an awareness of who you are, but social media may get you lots of your clients. It may be that it's all about the strategic partnerships that you have with all these other paraprofessionals in your area. It may be that it's expert positioning. Now, the reason we give you these 4 pillars is so that you can go and test out what works for you. And as I said, generally, they work in a combination, because we know that people need to see us in various places more than once. I think it's at least 7 times people need to see us before they really feel like sold and they're ready to buy. Now, for some people, just my friend Becky telling me you want to work with whoever, that's enough. 5 years ago, I just said it would have been, maybe even 2 years. Now, right now, 2026, I'd say I would take my friend's recommendation. I'd then probably check you out on social. And that's how these things work. So it's all these things are interconnected. And it's not a case of you've got to do, as I said, it's not a case of you've got to do all these things all of the time to 110%. You need to test and tweak to build your own personalized formula. But I really do suggest that you do actually give all of these things a go. And we're going to cover in more detail social media and strategic partnerships. So social media, to me, social media is an absolute game changer. I mean, how lucky are we that it's like a little mini stage. Like, you have a platform to help people from. You can share your story, you can educate people, you can help them, you can build connection, you can make new business friends, you can build a network. People can see you, they can get to know you, like you, trust you, all for free. I mean, I think, aren't we lucky? I have built my entire business through social media and through strategic partnerships. And then, yeah, later down the line, we've done lots of other things. But this is what got me going in the beginning. I started my entire business with a Facebook page that contained about 20 people who I knew in real life and maybe some of their friends. Maybe it was like 50. No, I remember being very excited when we got to 50 people actually. And all I had when I launched my first event was a Facebook event. There was no website, there was no branding, there was nothing. We just had a Facebook event and we sold the tickets. And then we created another one, we sold those tickets and so forth and so forth. So I'm a huge fan of social media. I really am. And when people are like, oh, it doesn't work for me, it's this, it's that, it's possibly that you are not saying the right things to the right people. So it may be that you are saying the right things to the wrong people, or you're saying the wrong things to the right people. And when you have a system, a proven way of utilizing social media, it does really work. Whether it works as really effectively as a client attraction channel for you, or whether it's a supporting pillar, doesn't matter. It'll work one of those ways, but it really is, in my mind, such a privilege to be able to have a place to help people online from your phone. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about social media. As I've said, I am a fan. Now, we obviously have the NKC Facebook and all the rest of our social channels. We also look after a number of individuals and organizations' social media across the UK and also across America. Just work with a small number of clients, but we test out a lot of content first on my platforms, and then we roll it out to clients, and then it also goes out to all the coaching clients as well. So how we teach social media, like, we know it works, and we've broken it down into just 2 types of content. So you need content that is designed to grow your account and grow that kind of connection with people. And then you need content that's designed to sell. That's it. You do need to be consistent and you do need to have a plan, but you don't have to make it difficult. You don't have to take pictures of your breakfast. You don't have to share the details of everybody in your family. There's so many things you see online that you don't need to do, but you do need to have growth content and you do need to have sales content. So if you're creating content right now that isn't intentional, it will probably not do anything. You need to have thought about what you want it to do first. Now, I'm sharing 2 great examples of people that we've helped really nail their social media and what it's done for them. So this is a vet here pictured. One of our very few Australian clients. She's absolutely lovely. She's a body worker and a saddle fitter, a bit fitter. She does quite a few cool things. She tripled her sales in a year through the use of consistent and strategic social media. That is it. It was all organic. She didn't spend loads on ads. She didn't hire a marketing agency. She did it herself. And she used this formula plus the content calendars that we gave her. And she showed up. She posted consistently, and it makes a huge difference. Similarly to Lisa, who was in the program a couple of years ago, she doubled her client base. She, at that time, wanted to hit 3K a month and work 3 days a week, quite short days around her family. Smashed it. Social media was a really useful tool for her. It meant she could talk to lots of people at one time. She just needed to, really nail that messaging, and she was flying. So opinion content is a type of growth content that we are big fans of, that delivers again and again. So this is what I've shared here is what I call quote posts. And these are just where I'm literally sharing an opinion, okay? These types of posts, they always do really, really well because other people will be like, oh yeah, it's not just me that thinks that. It's an easy type of post to create. We're not asking for anything back. There's no call to action. We're just like, we might say something like, double tap if you agree. But like, people will resonate. This shows who you are. It shows what you stand for. It might show your business values, it might show your expert status, show some of your personality. Like two of these examples here, sorry, it's a bit cut off here. It's time to end bullying in the horse world. This was like a carousel when I talked about how I'd been really badly bullied, how rubbish that was, how I hate seeing people having a hard time at yards and barns, and how I think, come on, like let's all just be nice to each other. Let's all have our shared love of horses. Again, lots of people agreed with that. This one here, a client will become a friend faster than a friend will become a client. And when you read that, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so true. It is true, isn't it? So that type of content, people share it, people save it, people are like, oh yeah, people tell their friend about it. And that's what gets you in front of new people on social media. That's what strengthens that rapport, that bond with current people that may follow you. Storytelling posts. Now, when you use storytelling in your marketing, it's very, very powerful because we remember a story, don't we? So this is some examples we've got here, one from our dissection training about the difference between knowing something and truly understanding it. And we're telling a story about how you can think you know anatomy and then you actually really see it, or you thought you understood how what did what, and then you really see it and you discuss it in a whole nother level. And you're like, oh my gosh, I really do understand it now. This was like a client results story about a one-to-one client who had such a breakthrough on a mindset call. She was like, wow, I don't think I need to come to any of the other calls. Like that was worth the whole 12-month investment. And this is talking about like results that people had shared working inside our membership. So it's really, really powerful when you tell stories. I've mentioned Erin with her horse having kissing spines and sharing that story online. You can tell stories about anything, but stories help you position what you sell. They help people get to know you. People will remember it and people will read it because it's compelling. Now, it doesn't need to be, war and peace. It doesn't need to be this huge, great, big, long spiel, but a story is something that we can really wrap our heads around, and it does something to us. It will stir up some emotion in us, which is very, very powerful. So I've given you two types of social media content that we know deliver really, really well. So if you're ever stuck for social media, start here. Start with that growth content and that sales content, okay? And you can use the opinion post, you can use storytelling as a sales type of post as well. So that's social media. We'll talk a little bit now about strategic partnerships. So you've got your list of 3 places. I'd love you to think now, how could you help these people or these organizations? What value can you give to them, maybe personally or to their audience? This could be online, this could be in person. So if you're so maybe you've realized, say you treat dogs, that there's a particular dog trainer that people in your area go to their classes or they work with, or perhaps you could run a talk for their class about the benefits of what you do, about injury prevention, about strength and conditioning, etc., etc. That would be very, very valuable. Like, as if I was there with my dog and I'm learning from you, and then you're literally there in person, so I can go and chat with you, and maybe you've talked about how, what the next step could look like if I wanted to get your help. You've made that really easy for me. Now I know who you are. I trust you because the dog trainer that I trust has kind of brought you in. When you are brought in as the expert by somebody else, you kind of come up here. So the other people, the audience, they may have never heard of you before, but when somebody they know and trust says, right, I want you to meet so-and-so, they are an expert in this, they're going to help us with this, you're automatically going to trust them because the person that you trust trusts them. And this is where strategic partnerships are so powerful, and they can be such an incredible win-win. So like the dog trainer's like, yeah, great, you can help my people. And then you're like, great, I can then work with your people. So it's just this lovely win-win situation. Maybe there's an equestrian coach or trainer and you want to offer to treat their horse. And they, animal people are practical people. They see the benefits, they feel the benefits, they are going to be then much more likely to recommend your work to their clients. Think about somebody that's got a yard of, I don't know, 20, 50, 100 horses. That's pretty powerful if you can get that person on side. Yeah. Lana is a great example of this. She was relying just on word of mouth recommendations, but then she built very strategic partnerships with dog trainers and there's a dog behaviorist and some local vets, and she doubled her revenue in about 6 months as a result. So she really used strategic partnerships as her core client attraction, and it really worked beautifully for her. Vet referrals, I just want to touch a little bit on that, on this, because this is something that so many people tell me. It's like, oh, I just don't know where to start. This seems so hard, or vets don't seem to want to refer to me, or I've dropped off my card, but never got anything back. A couple of things to consider. Is it the practice that you want to get on side and you want to work with? Is it a particular vet? Now, you also want to think equine versus canine. Who are you trying to work with? On the equine side, it's much more likely that you would build a relationship with a particular vet. On the small animal side, it's much more likely that you build a relationship with the practice, because sometimes the referrals may come from nurse clinics. Sometimes you can deliver training to the entire practice. That's often harder, not impossible, but can be harder on the equine side, where vets are often out on the road. But the plus side of that is they're in the car and you can often get a chance to talk to them because they're driving and they can answer the phone and so forth. So think, who am I trying to build a relationship with? Is it Becky Smith, the vet, or is it, I don't know, the Midlands vet practice? Who is it you're looking to work with? Who are the gatekeepers? In any type of vet practice, the reception team, oh my gosh, they are hardworking and undervalued quite often, but they also hold the power. They can hold an awful lot of power in whether your emails get passed on, your business cards get to the right person, or they just get dropped into recycling, whether numbers get passed on to you, messages, etc., etc. So it may well be that your first part of getting vet referrals is working out who is potentially standing in your way and who you need to get on side. And then think about what you can offer. What can you offer that vet? What can you offer that practice? So that you don't try and have a kind of, hi, I'm in your area. And what you want to say is, can you just send clients my way? But that feels weird and awkward. You want to decide what you are trying to offer them and what you want to get out. Because working with vets, we always say it's a bit like dating. You're not going to drop off your business card and just get married. Like, there's going to be some more steps to go through. And sometimes those steps take ages, and sometimes those steps can be quite quick. But you want to realize that it's building a relationship. It's not just because you've gone up to the practice and dropped off some cards and some cookies that they're automatically going to want to refer to you. They're going to want to know who you are. They're going to want to get to know you before they put their professional reputation on the line by recommending you, okay? And when you understand that, it's easy because it's not actually personal. There's just a process to follow. So those are some things that can really help you get going with vet referrals. Right, coming up to our final section, and apologies, I have slightly overrun my 60 minutes, but hey ho. You know who you want to work with now. You've got some really clear action steps to go and put in place. Now let's just talk a little bit about that mindset side and about who is the person that puts this into place. How do you embody that next level? So who is this version of you that attracts clients with ease, that holds this next level? Remember what we said at the beginning about thinking, I want more clients, but. So who is the version that's like, no, I just want more clients. I know I'm ready. I know I've got the time. I've got the energy. I've got everything I need. I'm fully resourced. Who is this version of you? Because I can tell you now with absolute certainty, this version of you that has those next 10 clients, that has the next whatever it is you want, is different to the version of you that is joining this training right now. Otherwise, you'd already have those 10 clients, those 20 clients, or whatever it is you want. So, and that's fine. It's fine that it's a different version. I'm going to show you a way to get to become that person much, much quicker. Okay. Because you can do this. So to embody or become that next person, I'd love you to think about a couple of different things. So if I just bing, click my fingers and literally you had in your inbox tomorrow morning or later on today, your next 10 clients saying, right, I'm ready to book. What do I do? I'm a perfect dream client. You've really got to want to work with me. I'm ready to make it, pay you. I'm ready to book in at whatever space you've got, like absolute dream people. So if I've sent that over to you. Okay, so this is happening. If you had those 10 clients, what routines would you have? You would do something a little bit differently. Maybe you'd market your services a bit more consistently. Maybe you would do things differently first thing in the morning or last thing in the day. Maybe you'd have some little rituals or routines in your business. You'd look at the numbers more. You'd make more plans consistently. Something would be different. So jot down something for little routines or rituals. Habits and behaviors. Maybe you would behave in a different way. You'd hold yourself with, I don't know, a different posture. You'd have a different kind of energy. You'd have more confidence. You'd have more certainty. You'd walk into a yard or you'd walk into an owner's house or your clinic room in a different way. And again, when you get clarity on that, you can practice that, can't you? Because there is literally nothing stopping you walking around your house, walking out to see your animals or do whatever, as if you already have this next thing. So if you knew, and you can see I'm standing up straight as I said that, if you knew that you would stand a little bit taller, you'd hold your head up a little bit higher, do that. Do that before those clients come. Do that as you go about your everyday life, because that's what gets you to be this person quicker. And that's what means you'll take the action. When you feel ready, and this is how you feel ready, you'll find that you can't help yourself but take the action. So what would you be thinking if you already had all of these clients that you wanted? What would your beliefs be? You wouldn't be questioning yourself. You wouldn't be thinking, oh gosh, this is so hard. You wouldn't be thinking, are there really enough clients out there? You wouldn't be thinking, oh gosh, why do all these other people seem to know what they're doing and I don't? None of that. You would be thinking probably things like, I'm so lucky, I'm so grateful. Gosh, isn't this just the best thing ever that I get to help all these people? There really are so many people that want my work. There's so many people that I can help. There's so many people I can support. These might be some of the thoughts and beliefs that you'd have. Again, jot something down. How can you practice thinking that thought? How can you start cementing in that belief? Because you're never going to take action that goes against your belief. So if you're somebody thinking, there's so many other practitioners in my area, I'm never going to get those extra clients I want. Even if you did take the action, the energy around that action is never going to match attracting clients, is it? So change of the thoughts, the behavior, the action, will become so much easier to implement. And the energy as you implement those actions will be much more aligned with attracting those ideal clients. And then finally, your environment. If you had whatever it is you want, 10 clients, 20 clients, whatever it is you want, what would be different? Trust me, something would be. Maybe something in your house, it may be your workspace, your office, your desk. It may be the inside of your car, it might be your tack room, or somewhere in your environment would be different. And the great thing about this, and this is why I love clients to work on, one of the things we do in the Exercise the Expert Academy is working on your ideal day and getting real clarity. We have these great meditations where you can get to go and see what your next level would look like. And then you can bring some of that information back and implement it. I know when I was doing a huge amount of work on my own mindset, I had so much clarity that I would wake up in a white light-filled room. And at that particular time, we'd moved house a couple of years before, maybe a year before, we had not got around to decorating our bedroom. And our bedroom, although it was a good-sized room, It was several shades of sludgy green, like literally each wall seemed to be a different color of green, not a nice green, like the bottom of the water trough that needs cleaning out type of green. And it was just so out of alignment. Painted the room white, and I already felt like I'd made so much progress, because suddenly how I saw my absolute dream life, the room was the same color. Maybe the room was in a different country, maybe something was different, but the color of the room aligned to my vision. And I was like, oh yes, bing. It really helped me become the person that could then go and take those next actions. So small thing, it could be something tiny like cleaning your desk, it could be painting the walls white, it could be tidying up your car. There's no right or wrong answer, but trust me, something in your environment will be different, and your environment is giving you cues all the time, and it's really easy to change things in your environment, and that will make you feel like a different person. And when you feel like a different person, you'll take the action like that next level of you. So who is this version of you? Now, Alice is a great example of this. She came to me just like a bit frantic, I think that's the best way to put it. We did a lot of work, yes, on strategy, but the biggest piece of work we did together was on identity shifting and supporting her to become a leader of her business, a CEO. She then took on new team members, hit 5-figure months consistently. But the strategy, yes, that was important, but the biggest thing was she saw herself differently. She positioned herself differently. She acted differently. And then taking those actions was easy. And she went from overwhelmed and everything was a bit chaotic to having so much clarity. And it's because she embodied leading her company. And she couldn't show up as a CEO. She couldn't lead her company with all that chaos and franticness. So when she got clear on, okay, if I was this, I would do, started to do those things each and every day. And it was small things, like she wouldn't go on her phone when she woke up. She'd drink a cup of coffee and just jot a few notes down and just sit there just for 5 minutes. She wouldn't be scrolling on her phone. Like, that's an easy one that everybody could do. Her desk and I think it was her kitchen or was her living room. 2 rooms in her house were different. I think they were just like more decluttered. Again, when she walked into those spaces, she had clarity, which very much aligned with her leading her business forward and really, really helped her. So easy to put into place, but incredibly powerful, really is. Now, just knowing these 3 steps, so the clarity, the action, the embodiment, it is not going to give you the results. It's not going to automatically, bing, 10 clients, 20 clients, okay? So you actually do need to shift your identity. You need to become that next person that we've just outlined. You're going to need some accountability, okay? And you're going to need to personalize the steps to work for you. So I shared about the client attraction strategy. You need to build your own formula. And without doing so, those steps are not going to give you the results that you want. What does make it work is when you become the person that can action the plan, that you feel comfortable taking that action, when you've got some personalized support for the good bits and maybe the bits that aren't so good. That's what's really, really important. And you commit to taking action, even if it feels uncomfortable. And sometimes action taking does feel uncomfortable, and that is okay. That's what makes these 3 steps work. That's what really does lead to your next 10, 20, 5, whatever number of clients it is you're looking to attract right now. So if you are really serious about wanting to attract more clients in the next 30 days and beyond that, there's 3 different ways you can do that. Stay the same, keep doing what you're doing. May not get you the results you want though. Try and implement these 3 steps and sort of, fingers crossed, hope for the best. Or you can let me help you for free. We have put together some personalized help for Masterclass attendees. We've opened up 10 free strategy sessions for those of you joining the Masterclass, where we can build on today and create your 90-day plan. Let's go beyond just 30 days and map out what needs to happen over the next couple of months for you to get from wherever you are to where you want to go. So this is a 30-minute call that you'll have with me on Zoom. You will get a lot of clarity from this. We'll find out where you're going. We'll find out what's keeping you stuck. And I will give you 2 to 3 practical actions that you can go and implement straight away. It's a very practical session where you will walk away with an awful lot of value. If I think you're a great fit for the Expert Academy, you'll also receive an invitation to join us inside that program. If I think it is going to truly serve you, if I think it's the right time for you, and if I think you are somebody that would benefit from what we do inside that program. There's only 10 spots, so there's about 200 people registered for the Masterclass. There's only 10 spots available. If we can make any more happen in the next week or so in the diary, we will do our best. Right now, there's only 10 spots. So if you scan this QR code, you'll get through to my personal calendar and you can book your strategy session today. And I really, really suggest grabbing one of those ASAP because they do fill up really, really fast. And it is the best way that I can give you some personalized help. Like, we've given you so much today that you can go and implement, but when I can help you with detailing your ideal client, I can look at your social, I can look at your website with you. We can just give you some very, very practical things to implement straight away. When that advice is much more personalized, it's going to help you so, so much more. So please do book one of those strategy calls if you are really serious about your next clients. Now, opening the floor for any questions. We've covered a lot, so thank you so much for keeping the energy, staying with me. Right, let's dive into the questions. Okay, can't scan on a phone. Are you on your phone right now? Is that why you can't scan it? If so, don't give me a second and I'll stick it in the chat. Okay, no problem at all. Right, let me do that. And tell me anything anybody needs help with, any questions, anybody need any support with their ideal client and who that is. Everybody leaving with some actions that they can put into place right away, later on today, first thing tomorrow, depending on where you are in the world, what the time is and so forth. So if you have got a question, if you are not totally sure about who you're for, who you're not for, what your next action is going to be, then this is your moment to ask me. Right, let me pop this in the chat for you. Okay. Right, here we go, Rihanna. That is in the chat for you now. Let me just pick this slide back up for everybody else who may want to scan that if you're watching on like a laptop. Okay, so if there's any questions I can answer, then please do share them, and then I can support you there. If not, I will see some of you on a strategy call very soon, which will be absolutely amazing. And I'd just like to thank you one more time for your energy, your attention, and for the commitment, for committing to taking action, for committing to becoming a better version of yourself, and committing to helping more animals. Because that's why you're here. You're here because you have a calling to help more animals, and you really do want to have more clients, yes, for your business, but ultimately it's because you want to serve those animals. So, oh my goodness, thank you so much for all your lovely, lovely comments. I'm so glad that's been helpful. So thank you so much, Emily, Chloe, Liddell, everybody else whose name is going too fast, I can't see. Samantha, Vicky, Kirsty, thank you so much for all your kind words. It means a lot, but please do something with the information. I think that is the most important thing. If you haven't booked your call, then please do, because that's where we can take this information and really put it into a personalized action plan for you. And as I said, if I think we can help you further, then you will also receive an invitation into the Expert Academy where we can support you on a much deeper level for 6 months. and we can help you with lots more. So I am going to say a final thank you and goodbye. The replay will be coming out very soon. So if you want to watch this a second time, then please do look out for the replay link, and I'll see everybody else very, very soon. Thank you so much. I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.